Force yourself to get it done. Break tasks into smaller steps. Tackle overwhelming tasks by dividing them into manageable parts. This makes starting easier and gives a sense of progress. Set clear deadlines. Imposing time limits creates urgency. Even self-imposed deadlines help prevent procrastination and keep you focused. Remove distractions. Identify and eliminate distractions to maintain concentration. Turn off notifications. Find a quiet space and stay focused on the task at hand. Use the 5-minute rule. Commit to working on the task for just 5 minutes. Often, once you start, you'll find momentum and keep going beyond those initial minutes. Visualize the end result. Keep the desired outcome in mind. Focusing on the benefits of completing the task can motivate you to push through even when you're not feeling motivated. When facing a large, daunting task, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and unsure where to begin. One effective way to combat this feeling is to break the task down into smaller, more manageable steps. This approach not only makes the task seem less intimidating, but also provides a clear roadmap to follow, making progress more tangible and easier to track. Imagine you're trying to complete a major project, whether it's writing a report, preparing for an exam, or organizing an event. At first glance, the entire task can feel insurmountable, like climbing a mountain without a clear path. However, by dividing the task into smaller components, you give yourself specific, actionable items to focus on, rather than the entire mountain at once. For instance, instead of thinking, I need to write a 20-page report, you can reframe it into smaller tasks, such as today I'll gather research materials, or I'll outline the first 2 sections. By concentrating on these bite-sized objectives, each task becomes achievable on its own, making the overall project feel much more approachable. Additionally, breaking tasks down into smaller steps provides a sense of accomplishment with each completed part. Every time you finish a subtask, you're reinforcing your motivation to continue. This creates a positive feedback loop, where progress fuels further effort. For example, if your goal is to clean your entire house, you could start with one room or even a specific area, like organizing a bookshelf. Once that small part is done, you'll feel a sense of achievement that can propel you to tackle the next section. Smaller tasks also help maintain focus. When working on a large project, it's easy to get distracted or feel lost about where to start. By having a clear, broken-down to-do list, you know exactly what needs to be done next. This clarity reduces the chances of procrastination, as you're not overwhelmed by the enormity of the whole task. Instead of staring at the entirety of what needs to be accomplished, you're dealing with a single, straightforward action step. Setting deadlines is a powerful way to ensure that tasks get completed in a timely manner, even when you might not feel particularly motivated. Without deadlines, it's easy for tasks to drift indefinitely, becoming less urgent as other priorities arise or distractions take over. By establishing clear deadlines, you create a sense of accountability, structure, and urgency that helps you stay focused on the task at hand. One of the key reasons deadlines are so effective is that they give you a defined endpoint. When you know there's a specific time by which something must be completed, it's easier to organize your efforts and manage your time accordingly. Without this clarity, tasks often feel open-ended, which can lead to procrastination. Instead of thinking, I'll get to it eventually, you're prompted to think, I need to get this done by Friday, which creates a stronger sense of purpose. This helps break through the inertia of indecision or avoidance and pushes you to take action sooner rather than later. Moreover, deadlines force you to prioritize. In any given day, there are likely multiple tasks vying for your attention, and without a clear system of prioritization, it's easy to lose track of what needs to be done first. When you set deadlines, especially for multiple tasks, it becomes much easier to determine which activities require your immediate attention. You'll naturally start focusing on the most pressing tasks rather than bouncing between tasks without a plan. This improves your overall productivity and ensures that the most important items are completed on time. Deadlines also help create a sense of urgency, which can be highly motivating. Even if you're not in the mood to work, the ticking clock of a looming deadline can push you to begin. This urgency combats the tendency to put things off, particularly when tasks seem difficult or unappealing. The pressure of a deadline often leads to a surge in focus and energy, allowing you to overcome the initial resistance to starting a task. In fact, many people find that they perform their best under the pressure of a deadline, as it eliminates distractions and narrows their attention to the work that needs to be done. Removing distractions is one of the most important strategies for maintaining focus and productivity when tackling any task. In today's fast-paced world, distractions are everywhere, from constant notifications on our phones to social media, emails, and even environmental factors like noise or interruptions from other people. Without taking deliberate steps to minimize or eliminate these distractions, it becomes increasingly difficult to maintain sustained attention on a task, which can lead to reduced efficiency and a greater likelihood of procrastination. The first step in removing distractions is identifying what they are. Distractions come in many forms, and different people may be more susceptible to certain types than others. For some, the most common distractions might be digital in nature, such as checking social media, browsing the internet, or responding to emails and messages. For others, it might be environmental factors like a noisy workspace or interruptions from family members or colleagues. By recognizing which distractions most frequently pull you away from your work, you can take targeted steps to eliminate or mitigate their impact. One of the most effective ways to remove digital distractions is to use technology to your advantage. Many tools and apps can block access to distracting websites or limit the time you spend on certain apps. For example, productivity apps like Focus or Stay Focused Theme prevent you from accessing social media or other distracting sites during work hours. You can also adjust your phone settings to minimize interruptions, such as turning off non-essential notifications or setting your device to Do Not Disturb mode. By reducing the number of pings and alerts you receive, you can maintain a more focused environment that fosters deep concentration. The 5-minute rule is a simple yet highly effective technique for overcoming procrastination and building momentum when faced with tasks that feel overwhelming or difficult to start. The premise is straightforward: commit to working on a task for just 5 minutes. This small time-limited commitment can help bypass the mental resistance that often accompanies starting new or challenging tasks. The beauty of the rule lies in its simplicity and flexibility, making it easy to apply in various situations and for different types of work. One of the primary reasons the 5-minute rule is so effective is that it lowers the psychological barrier to starting. Many people procrastinate not because a task is too difficult or time-killed or time-consuming, but because starting feels daunting. The thought of having to devote hours to a task or fully engage in something complex can trigger feelings of avoidance. By limiting the commitment to just 5 minutes, you remove much of that mental resistance. After all, 5 minutes feels manageable, even for the most unpleasant or challenging task. Telling yourself, "I'll only do it for 5 minutes," removes the pressure and makes it easier to take that crucial first step. Once you start the task, something interesting happens: momentum builds. Often the hardest part of any project is simply getting started. By committing to just 5 minutes, you ease yourself into the work, and in many cases find that you want to keep going once that initial period is over. This is because starting a task creates a sense of investment. The effort you've already put in makes it harder to quit, as you've already begun to engage with the work. This phenomenon, sometimes referred to as the Zeigarnik effect, suggests that people are more likely to continue a task once it has been started, even if they initially plan to stop. In many cases, those 5 minutes turn into 10, 20, or even an hour of productive work without you even realizing it. The 5-minute rule also plays a key role in breaking down larger tasks into more manageable chunks. When looking at a big project or long-term goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed by the sheer scope of what needs to be done. The prospect of tackling the entire task can lead to paralysis, where you avoid starting altogether because it feels too big to handle. However, by applying the 5-minute rule, you shift your focus away from the entire project and concentrate only on what you can do in a short amount of time. For example, if you're facing a 50-page report, the thought of writing the whole thing can be intimidating. But if you commit to just 5 minutes of outlining, gathering research, or writing, you've taken a small, manageable step toward progress. Visualizing the end result is a powerful mental technique that can significantly improve motivation, focus, and productivity when working toward a goal or completing a task. The concept is simple. By vividly imagining the successful completion of your work and the positive outcomes it will bring, you create a mental picture that fuels your drive to keep going, even when you face challenges or feel unmotivated. This technique taps into the brain's natural ability to simulate future events, helping to make the desired outcome feel more real and attainable, which in turn strengthens your commitment to achieving it. When you take time to visualize the end result, you engage in a form of mental rehearsal that prepares both your mind and body for success. For example, if you're working on a major project at work, envisioning yourself delivering a well-received presentation, receiving praise from colleagues, or experiencing the satisfaction of a job well done can energize you to push through the difficult phases of the task. By focusing on the reward that comes with completion, you create a clear sense of purpose, making it easier to stay on track and avoid distractions. This sense of purpose is vital because it turns a task from something abstract or monotonous into a meaningful endeavor that connects directly to your goals or values. Visualization works by leveraging the brain's capacity to form strong associations between thoughts, emotions, and behaviors. When you imagine yourself completing a task successfully, your brain activates similar neural pathways as it would if you were actually experiencing that success. This mental practice not only boosts your confidence but also helps reinforce positive feelings associated with the task. These feelings make it more likely that you'll approach your work with optimism and resilience, even when setbacks occur. By repeatedly visualizing success, you train your brain to expect and work toward that outcome, creating a feedback loop that enhances your overall performance and motivation. Moreover, visualizing the end result can help you clarify your objectives and break down the steps needed to achieve them. When you picture what success looks like, you gain a clearer understanding of what needs to happen to reach that point. This clarity can help you map out a strategy, identifying the most important tasks and milestones along the way. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by the enormity of the project, you can focus on the specific actions required to bring your vision to life. Whether it's completing smaller tasks, reaching certain deadlines, or collaborating with others, visualizing the end goal can guide your decisions and efforts, keeping you focused on what truly matters.